Welcome everyone to another episode of Rwby Review. I'm Infinite One, and today we're gonna try this. We might try this with Facecam. We'll figure it out in the final edit. But we're gonna be covering Volume 8, Chapter 13. Worthy, I believe it's called. So let's get into it. First, we open with John, Nora, Ren, Emerald, and Oscar going through the portal and starting the evacuation process that Ambrosius has created, thanks to Team Rwby. So now they're starting the evacuation process. They're going to different areas of Mantel and Atlas, evacuating the personnel, going back and forth and trying to get them out. Ren, Emerald, and Oscar go through the main portal to Vacuo to make sure that everything's safe. But it turns out they get to Vacuo. Turns out there's a gigantic sandstorm going on. Emerald then points out that there is no signal in the desert as the citizens start to pass through the portal. It is then revealed that Cinder then reveals herself in between dimensions during the evacuation process and starts a fight against Team Rwby. Cinder then starts to explain how she knew all about the plan. Turns out that Neo gave her the lamp, asked for Jin, and asked her to show her what Team Rwby was planning. She used up the last question for whatever left of the 100 years there is, because Jin can only answer 3 questions per every 100 years, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know if Neo said the name. I don't think she did, because, Neo's mute. But it sounded different from Cinder's voice, but I might just be looking too much into it. Probably. Jin, you can see the look on her face. She hates to have to show Cinder what's going on, because she knows that Cinder's up to no good, and she knows that Rwby is trying to help save the world from Salem. So this is kind of like this is a flashback, as it is right now. They show Cinder, Neo, and Watts going into Atlas control room. And it shows that Watts is now into the Atlas system, has control of everything in Atlas. And it is shown that he does indeed cut off Jean's broadcast to everyone in Mantel and Atlas that they're trying to save them. We then go to the Aesops, Crow, Robin, and Marrow, as Robin and Marrow are currently trying to handcuff the Aesops. They get the cuffs on, I think her name is Elm, I might be wrong. And then they start to put them on Harriet and Vine. Then one of Watts's robots, I'm going to just call him Watts's robots because he's in control of everything now, comes in and starts charging at everybody in a self-detonation suicide bomber kind of style. I hate to say it. That's basically what it was. Marrow then jumps in front of everyone, blocking the explosion as best as he can. He's down. His aura is gone for the time being. Harriet and Vine then seem to escape in one of the ships that are now falling out of the main cargo area. Morrow tries to save everyone, but he's just doing his best. He's a good dog. We then cut to Ironwood waking up in the holding cell next to Jacques. And Jacques is just like, "So, man, Atlas is falling under your control. What? You did nothing. You're a bad general." Just basically digging into him and saying, "Wow, you suck." Then Ironwood's cell starts to open. Is it Watts setting him free? Because his weapon was right there. But Sneeze Cell doesn't open, which makes me think it was Watts. Ironwood then grabs his weapon as he's about to leave, and Jacques asks, "Oh, are you gonna free me?" Ironwood locks his weapon towards the vault, towards the cell, shoots the cell, destroying it, and just says, "Yep." Walks away. Now we don't know if Jacques is dead at this point, possibly, because that was a big explosion and it doesn't show him anywhere. Now, we go back to Team Ruby fighting Cinder in between dimensions, and Cinder tells Ruby, you gotta be careful, because things happen out of nowhere. And Yang notices behind Ruby a woman coming up behind her, and it happens to be Neo transforming back into her regular form, like, you know, how she normally dresses in, you know, her regular. And then Yang rushes to save Ruby from Neo, knocking Neo out of the way and taking the hit. But then Yang's aura depletes. Yang starts to fall into the void in between dimensions, which Ambrosius was very cautious in telling them don't fall. Blake tries to save her with her weapon, but the weapon was too short. Yang falls into the void, and I don't know if she disintegrated like Pyrrha, or if her outline just disappeared. I don't know what happened. That killed me a little bit, to be honest, because Yang has been my favorite character since Season 1. Well, her and Pyrrha, so anyone who I like tends to die, but, you know. At this point, Blake absolutely loses it. It goes right after Neo. Penny hears Blake's scream and turns back before heading into Vacuo to help fight Cinder. We go to Harriet on the ship, carrying out Ironwood's mission of dropping a bomb onto Mantel. Vine is also on the ship, and he's like, I don't know if this is the right decision anymore. All the Aesops, except for Harriet, have come to see that this isn't a good idea. Vine then brings up, Harriet first says, it's what Clover would have done, and that's what I'm gonna do. And then, Vine, I hate how I keep forgetting it's Vine. He says, maybe they were wrong. And Harriet just gets pissed off at Vine, presses the button, opens the cargo hold after Robin. It's shown that Robin is smacking into them with another ship. So Harriet presses the detonation button. I don't know if that's by accident, probably. And then opens the hatch door to either release the bomb or to release Vine. Vine's holding on. Harriet then closes the door, goes back up, and disengages the autopilot. And then she sees something flying towards her, and it's Crow. It turns out to be Crow in his Crow form, and he breaks through the window, starts to fight Harriet, and says, I guess you're going to get that fight after all. And then it's shown that the autopilot is re-engaged while they're fighting. So Watts took control of the ship to take the bomb to Mantel. We then cut to Winter in the vault. And we see this red light on Winter, and, you know, a energy blast comes, and it happened to be Ironwood. Ironwood is in the vault with Winter at this point. And he says, out of everyone who I thought would betray me, you are not the one I thought it would be. Ironwood's like, this will be my final order to you. Move out of the way. Which Winter replies, I've always protected Atlas against its enemies. Or Atlas and Mantel against its enemies. And that's not going to change today. Ironwood then sheds a tear. and then they start running towards each other and start fighting. We go back to Vacuo, where we see Ren's semblance giving out to hide people's fear. And then they finally realize Penny's not in Vacuo. Because they say Penny would have been able to do something about the sandstorm. They remember this, they run back to go to the portal that Ambrosius made, but it won't let Oscar through. Oscar's like, why can't we go through? Ozpin remembers Ambrosius is very specific. And it cuts back to when they were asking him to make the portal. Weiss said, Weiss asked for a one-way ticket to Vacuo through that one portal. All the other portals you can go back and forth in, as we saw Jean going in and out of each portal, going place to place, getting people out with Ren and Nora before. But that one portal is a one-way ticket. You can't go back. So now they're like, what do? We can't get in touch with anyone. There's no signal. Everyone's freaking out, and then here come the Grimm out of the sandstorm. The people's negativity brought them all there. And people start running away. And, Emerald, Ren, and Oscar prepare to fight. And that's how this ends off. Now, was this episode good? Yeah, it gave a lot of interesting things to think about. Like, is Yang really gone? Probably. I don't know no one knows the deal with this in-between dimension stuff. Maybe Ozpin knows something about it. Maybe Ambrosius knows something about it. Maybe they can ask him when they get a chance. But Blake is really pissed off right now. Oscar, Ren, and Emerald are on their own. Penny is fighting Cinder. Rwby, Weiss, and Blake are going after Neo. People are still funneling into Vacuo. And Ironwood and Winter. That's a fight I can't wait for. That's going to be a good one. Who's going to make it out? I honestly think Ironwood's going to make it. Not that I doubt Winter, but, there's always has to be someone better. So, that was the episode. I'm really pissed off about the whole Yang thing. Like I said, she was my favorite character besides Pyrrha and Torchwick. Those were my 3 top favorite characters in Rwby, and now they're probably all gone. I mean, I know Torchwick and Pyrrha are gone, but I'm banking on Raven saving Yang or something happening down there. That I don't know. I just hope that she somehow makes it back. I know that's high hopes, but I just hope somehow Yang makes it back and helps out with the rest of the mission. Alright, so that's been it for Rwby Volume, I keep saying season, Volume 8, Chapter 13. Next week is the season finale, and I hope we get some good news, opposed to this episode where it's just been chaos, which I love the chaos. But I also hope that, I hope this episode is going to be a little bit longer, just so, the huntsmen from Shade Academy are going to come help Emerald, Ren, and Oscar. I hope there's some explanation with Yang. I hope something happens with Cinder. And I hope something happens with Neo. Neo is fighting against Rwby because she thinks she killed Torchwick, which she didn't. It was Salem's Grimm that killed Torchwick, swallowed him whole. So I hope somehow Neo finds that out and it's like, well, you lied to me. But what are you going to do? So that's been it for this episode. I can't wait for next week. This has been fun. Once again, I'm Infinite One. If you enjoyed, please think about commenting, liking, subscribing, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.